Hey everyone, welcome back. Austin Cassidy and Mike Tanner here, bringing some more information on real estate. Mike, thank you for joining us. How's your day going?
Not too bad. I'm on my third cup of coffee, so I'm going to be talking quick.
There we go. Well, we have some exciting information for our listeners today. Can you kind of explain where we got this information and maybe what the outlook of this podcast and some of our seminars is going to look like?
Absolutely. So we started thinking about what home sellers really wanted to know, and instead of just making stuff up, we decided to ask. So I put out on Facebook, I've got a fairly substantial group of people that I interact with on Facebook on a real estate perspective. What do sellers want to know? What are your top questions? And people came back with some fantastic things that are really pretty basic that apparently other realtors are not answering. And so over the next several podcasts, we're going to be running through this 12 to 15 number of questions that sellers just want to know that I think sometimes we as realtors can maybe take for granted.
Yeah, well, what a concept. If we don't know what people want, why don't we just ask, huh?
That was kind of the thinking behind it. And frankly, it worked out pretty well because as I looked at these questions, I thought, man, if I'm not answering these, I'm just really not providing the service I think I'm providing. So I want to make sure that we're hitting the mark on really everything that sellers want to know. And as a result, we'll be taking these, putting them into a seminar, an in-person, now that we can be back in person again, an in-person seminar to where we're answering all these questions, providing a market analysis on people's homes that come to the seminar, and a whole bunch of information as well. So be on the lookout for those dates because we're going to be putting those out here over the next month or two.
Yeah, great. Well, let's get started. Like Mike said, we have a list of questions here that we're going to be going over throughout the next few podcasts. And these are gathered from really the question of, hey, what do you want to know about selling your home? So let's start off here. Mike, what will you do as my official advocate in selling my home?
That's a great question because when we asked that, some of the smart aleck answers I got back were, hey, besides putting a post in the yard, what are you going to do? Really, official advocate in real estate terms translates over to representative. And that we take our fiscal responsibility with our clients very, very seriously. So number one, we are going to market your property. We're going to get it out in a variety of social media forms. We're going to put it on the MLS. We are going to do a ton of different things to get as many eyes on the property as possible. But more importantly than that, once we get it out, marketing is great, and a lot of people do that well. I think we do it fantastic. But when you get into negotiations, that's really where the realtor earns their money. Everything from answering the phone on time. We've dealt with a couple folks lately on that we're trying to put offers in with places, and Austin, you've experienced this. You can't get a freaking call back, and it's insane. And so being an official advocate means being responsible with your phone calls. It means answering your emails. It means answering your texts in a timely fashion. And so really being on call to take care of any questions or anything regarding the house. In addition to that, you negotiate not only the price, you help negotiate repairs, you help negotiate if there's a low appraisal. And believe it or not, in this market, we actually are seeing a few low appraisals. Appraisers are wanting to kind of pump the brakes on what they are considering to be an overinflated market right now. And so I had one that just came back 10 grand under asking. Not a lot of money, frankly, on that price of house. I thought it was kind of ridiculous, but at that we just had to deal with what was. So all the way through being the representative and the advocate for the person, letting the client know what's coming next so there's not any surprises as much as can be controlled, and really going to bat for them and taking that fiscal responsibility quite seriously.
Yeah, and I think another big piece of the advocacy that you offer and our team offers is just the back-end support as well, keeping the seller informed with what's going on, what they can expect throughout the process, and then just being there for them and caring about the best situation for them, and just having their best interest in mind and not just looking at a paycheck.
100%. One of the things that I just thought of as you were talking is that I don't see a lot of realtors doing this right now, simply providing a timeline of the transaction to know what the deadlines are and when the deadlines are, and to help the client understand that if we miss those deadlines, their earnest money could be at risk. If they're a buyer, we could be out of contract in some way, shape, or form if we miss those deadlines. And a lot of people are not aware of those from what we've discovered.
Yeah, and having a relatively complex contract with the purchase and sale, different addendums, it's hard for someone that isn't looking at this daily to really keep those timelines in check. So providing a transaction summary from the start, the day the purchase and sale is signed, allows the client to stay well informed throughout the process.
100%.
So next question here. We all want to know, what's the best time of the year to sell?
Really, it's the short answer is when you need to, because the market is going to respond at any given time to a house that is priced correctly. And so whether that's in March, whether that's in December, personally, I've sold 5 houses in the month of December before. And a lot of people will say, well, Christmas isn't a great time to sell a house. I beg to differ on that, simply because most houses look fantastic with Christmas lights on them. That's when the house is you're ready for company. The house is dressed up. It's ready to go. Why not show the house and sell it in December if that's the case? Now, that being said, the most popular time to sell is at the time of this recording. Right now, we're in the middle of March Madness, and it's called March Madness for a reason in real estate. It's because the sun starts peeking out at least a little bit. Today happens to be a beautiful day. But as the sun comes out, everybody in our area starts getting outside. They come out of the cave of their house after the long, dreary winter, and they start thinking about real estate. They maybe started the search back around the holidays, and they're ready to start looking or thinking about a job transfer, or thinking about, like in my case, my youngest is graduating from high school this year. And my wife and I have had the discussions, hey, is it time to look for something else now that the kids are, they're leaving?
Yeah, and that brings up the good point. Going into the spring, sun starts coming out. People are thinking of spring cleaning, maybe getting the house in order, whether they're trying to sell the home or not. What kind of upgrades in our market are a must in order to get top price?
You don't necessarily have to have all the upgrades, but you will not, as you just said, get the top price. Some of the things that people are really looking for right now, glass showers are huge. As you start looking at different houses, new builds, glass showers are massive. Everybody's kind of tired of that old insert, the tub shower combo insert that turns yellow and gross over time. Everybody's kind of sick of that. Tiled glass showers are great. All the amenities. I just toured a house the other day that they actually had some air dryers in the shower, which I thought was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm also I'm a sucker for a really cool bathroom too. So, I think those are great. The standalone tubs are also real popular right now. One of the pieces of advice I always give people is make your home as contemporary yet neutral as possible. So if you have walls that are, maybe you've got a dark room and all the walls in this particular room are black. I don't know why you'd have a dark room these days unless you're into classic photography or something, but maybe you do. And if with your black walls, that's not going to work for a buyer anymore. Go back, put some primer on there, and make them that popular dove gray color that you see all over HGTV.
Yeah, and that brings up a point and a question off this list is there a difference between just throwing up a cosmetically good looking fixture that may be a little cheaper versus maybe spending a little more and having higher quality.
100% there is. I think you're talking about putting lipstick on a pig.
Well,
because that's what a lot of flippers are unfortunately known for. But yes, doing the actual quality upgrades with everything and not shortcutting things is huge. Even in a market right now to where we have extremely limited inventory, buyers just are not going to put up with that garbage. If they're plopping down $500,000 for a house, which is less than our average right now in our market, if they're $500,000 is a lot of money. I don't care who you are. And if someone is paying that kind of money for a home to live in, quite candidly, they deserve to have it be a decent place and have upgrades that are well done, not shortcutted. And it's not that much more expensive if it's done right.
Yeah, I totally agree. Sometimes just the cover of the book doesn't always show the quality of the home.
Absolutely.
It may look good in pictures, but buyers really can identify quality, and they're looking for quality now.
They can sniff out the BS pretty quick these days. They really can.
So, last question here. Having an agent represent me, what's that going to cost me?
Well, it really depends on the agent you're working with. You could hire a discount brokerage, no question. And you can hire somebody for a flat fee to throw it up on the MLS and do absolutely nothing else for you. And unfortunately, some people have chosen to go that route. You have really no representation at that point, so you have nobody negotiating on your behalf. You have nobody guiding you through the contract. You have nobody watching your back as far as transaction timelines. And you don't have, to go back to our first question, you don't have an advocate, which is a huge deal in a real estate transaction. On top of that, they don't provide any marketing. You know, our white glove service, our all-in listing service, we do marketing videos, we do top-notch photography, we actually pay to get it out on social media because I don't care if you just put it out to your family and friends. That's not a big enough market. You need to be getting, in my opinion, you need to be getting this house out in front of, tens of thousands of people, not 200 or 300 people that are friends with my mom on Facebook, and that's it. You need to be paying to get this out. And so if your realtor is not doing all of that, they should not be charging you full price, in my opinion. Every market is different as far as what's customary. In our market, it kind of starts right around the 6% mark. And that, by the way, is not just for one agent. That's not me taking my wife to Hawaii on your dime or anything. That is the listing agent, the listing brokerage, the buyer brokerage, and the buyer agent. So that's actually split up 4 ways, is what it is. Now, that being said, I believe personally as a listing agent that all of the marketing should be included in my fee. I firmly believe that. If you have an agent that's trying to nickel and dime you, give me a call. But I don't think that's right. I think that an agent should take on those as a portion of the fee that's being charged. Some people differ on that. That's just one of my things. I don't like nickel and diming people.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this market, being a seller's market, we've seen a lot of agents take shortcuts. They're getting the same fee they generally would, but they're not getting quality photos. They're taking them on iPhones. We don't cut corners here. We're doing the same thing no matter the market condition, whether it's going to sell or not. We're doing the photos, videos, drone footage, full marketing white glove service.
If I see another stupid realtor have their reflection in a bathroom mirror with taking a bathroom photo, their hand reaching around the corner, I just about threw my phone across a room the other day. That ticks me off.
Well, then it gives us good content for the Facebook page.
This is true. If you haven't seen that for Tanner Realty Group, we put a ton of bad marketing and bad MLS photos on there. So follow it, check it out, hit the like button on that, and get a laugh out of those photos. We try to have a sense of humor with what we do, and we like to make fun of bad marketing. I don't know how else to put that.
Well, that's all we have for today. We'll continue through this list of questions. And if you have any questions that came up throughout this podcast or that maybe you're sitting on and you've been thinking about, send it our way. We'd love to be able to answer your questions. And there's no pressure, no just, oh, well, now I'm going to come over and try to list your house. We just want to provide value here, answer your questions, and give top quality service to just our whole community.